I don't know how much I can handle watching this.
Deconstructing racism I want to talk about is about like deconstructing racism and how important that is for people
Did we
on
watch?
the left.
Was this one thing we watched before? Who was the one that was arguing with Peyton? Was it Parker or was it Dean?
To continue to engage in, including myself, to continue to engage in like deconstruction, and that involves plenty of things.
It was Dean.
Most notably, right, continuing to educate yourself, like books that would relate to theory, lectures. It can be audiobooks if that is the best. Having friends, right, that are very well informed about these things, engaging with them. I think those things are super important that people on the left like need to engage with, and it's important. There's a few things I wanted to address before I allow people to come onto the live. For me, I think that I did not force accountability enough prior to the point of the tour. I don't think that I, in a meaningful sense, I don't think that I think that I could have forced more accountability. I could have forced a public addressal of this earlier. I think that's genuinely something that I could have done, and I didn't do that. And I think that in hindsight, looking back on things, that is something that's necessary to do. It's important to do. And I don't want to be someone that normalizes any of this type of stuff. And for extra context, I'll keep trying to go over context so that people are understanding. Everyone, please, I didn't even turn it off. Is there a way I can turn it off while I'm on live? Am I able to turn off GIFs while I'm on live? Live GIFs. Oh, God damn it.
Too many goddamn memes.
Please just, I can restart, but I just.
It's so funny. They're so like, what would you even say? Not like dystopian. Is that the word I'm looking for? It's just like fucking.
Please don't send me gifts right now. I really don't want to deal with that right now. I just want to address everything and talk about this. And I think it's important too.
Corny? No, I think dystopian maybe.
Settings. Is there like a settings? And to let everyone know, again, Z engaged in who was the one of the organizers of the Unfuck America tour, which I just want to be very clear with. I am not involved with anymore. I am with a group of creators that is not involved with the Unfuck America tour, as it's apparently still going on or something, which is insane.
You listen to your criticism about all the goofy shit on screen at last call? No, because this video is 8 days old, so this is. I think before I was talking much about things. I don't remember how long ago was I addressed this.
Still gonna be fighting for a movement, and we're going to try to go to other packs, hopefully, or people involved that could give us the infrastructure in order to be able to effectively push a movement, especially, and this is like most of the creators that were involved that again are not going to be involving ourselves with National Ground Game at all, and are not going to be involving ourselves with Z at all.
Thank God.
So again, I wanted to clarify that, but I think it's oh yeah, people did say that we would if they step down, but the issue is that and some people probably saw this from Santana's live yesterday. They're not. So I'm on the side. Everyone I've talked to is on the side of not engaging with that. We're not even going to deal with them. We're going to go to like a different pack or to go to someone else because that's kind of insane. Everyone, please.
Did you literally just argue with some black women? Yep.
Send gifts. I might actually just have to restart.
Oh, we're being racist, by the way. But
live to turn off the gifts. Should I do that, chat? Let me know. Because I don't want to. I don't have to be saying that all the time.
Guys, stop with the goddamn memes. It's too much.
Yes, do it. Okay. All right. I'll be right back, everyone. I'm gonna hit a restart and I'm gonna turn off gifts real quick. Give me 1 second.
Thanks. Hit a restart real quick. Okay. While he's hitting that restart, hold on. What is this?
Hopefully, guys, I'll be real. I went to the police yesterday. Saying, hey, let's hurry this shit up. Like, legit. I got my lawyers say, hey, let's hurry this shit the fuck up. Right? Because, like, you know, they're going to investigate me. 100%. I said, bro, just talk to me. Let's get this shit going. I've been waiting 7 months. For these people just to fucking reach out to me.
What is he investigating people for?
And it's like, bro, can we just hopefully, guys?
I have no idea. Okay.
Like everyone, I want to keep explaining things, and I want to keep letting people know. And I want to go over things, so just give it a second.
Okay.
For people to join back. For people who are asking
about him being violent with his ex, the girl you saw on a tweet. Okay.
What Dean is apparently like continuing is like the movement with the other creators that are not involving ourselves with the Unfuck America tour and National Ground Game.
Thank God.
That's out of the water, at least to my ideas, at least to my understanding.
Thank God.
Granted, I haven't talked to Dean today, but I'm certain because I've talked to Santana and Matt, and I'm certain from talking to them.
Okay.
But yeah, we are going to have our own movement of all the creators that were involved that are not affiliating themselves with National.
We'll see if that happens.
Ground Game and the Pack and the Unfuck America tour. So it's going to be a whole different sort of movement, but with the same like
vibe,
notable people, you know, like our friends and stuff like that, and people we know. But again, everyone, I just want to go over and address things again.
Okay.
Because I think it's important for us to go over and to keep everyone like on track of everything that I was saying so far. I just want to acknowledge like what are the reasons why it's
acknowledge and create space for Black women. Yes.
Me like a little bit of extra time to address things. For me, why it's taken a little bit more of time to address things is genuinely because I've had lots of anxiety recently, and I've wanted to put extra time and thought into thinking and reading up what people are saying and reflecting upon my behavior.
Reflecting.
And I think that was really important for me to do, especially for addressing things.
Okay.
Today. So those are important things. And also for people who are asking for debates, I'm not going to be debating.
Not this topic.
For a bit.
This is way too important.
I don't plan on coming back for debates for a few more days at least. Today I am talking about everything and addressing everything, and I'm going to bring people up to be able to ask questions, provide constructive criticism, you know, things like that.
Okay.
So those things are important. Those things are important. So I'll go over and I'll address things a little bit longer. I am trying to, you know, take things slow so that I can address everything. So to clarify, to start from the beginning, right? Again, Z absolutely, again, one of the event organizers, absolutely engaged in racist microaggressions on a live with Black women, like literally against Black women, engaged in racist microaggressions.
Disgusting.
And these are things that the tour knew about prior to this point, and that, to my knowledge, she addressed it privately. And I was under the impression that it would possibly lead to her stepping down and not and like to publicly address this, as that's like something that I want.
What do you think is going on in their minds? Do they believe this or just scared of getting canceled? They just a little bit kind of like lost to the wokey autism. It's just fucking stupid. But I mean, they also like the problem is they're creating audiences that are going to cannibalize them at some point in the future as well. Like imagine giving in so much to people that weren't even a part of the fucking tour, right? Like none of these women that were so offended were even part of this tour, but they've created these ultra cucked soy audiences. So of course they have to give in to the ultra cucked soy audiences.
Wanted was like a publicly addressing this, apologizing. I think those things are being held accountable. I think those things are really important. And I was lied to, and I was under the impression that this was being addressed, and stuff that a lot of other people on the tour have realized is that wasn't being addressed. It wasn't.
Wow.
And I think it's important to hold ourselves accountable. I think it's important to address these types of things from our side, because
what did she even say? Honestly, I don't even remember. I think she said that she asked the Black women that were on the live with her to that there was no reason for them to like scream at her or something. And I think that their interpretation of that was, wow, you told Black women to not be loud, and that's like a racist stereotype, so you microaggressed. It was that stupid. It was something that stupid.
Of the fact that I think deconstruction is a very important thing that people on the left need to be continuing to engage in. Deconstruction is really, really important. And like I just wanted to like also like give people like, what does deconstruction look like? Deconstruction looks like stopping.
Okay.
Right, and listening.
Okay.
It takes like looking into lectures, into books, and having friends that are very knowledgeable about these types of things, asking questions,
Okay.
right? So that you have a broader understanding about those things. That's very important in like the point of deconstruction.
Anybody else deconstructing right now?
And by the way, for the people who are saying he's just saying things over and over again, I'm addressing this because I want to make sure anyone new coming in
I'm deconstructing.
does know kind of like what I'm addressing. And I just want to let everyone know I will be addressing things and having people come up and people can ask questions and give constructive criticism and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say again, like I looked at this tour as genuinely something that could bring about a lot of good change and like spread our message towards like, you know, effective, good, real change.
But now I realized it was all a fucking lie.
I still want to continue a movement, obviously, with people who are a part of the movement that are not affiliating themselves with National Ground Game and Z and
Thank God.
them, or the Unfuck America tour. Because again, for new people who are still coming on the live and first hearing it, they're apparently still going to continue it, which I think is insane.
That's insane. After microaggressing against black women? Unbelievable, guys.
But something I'm really angry about.
Yeah, super angry.
But
I'm crying, I'm shaking, and
yeah,
pissing and shitting myself and coming all over myself.
I want to make sure that I can address everything. Give me a second to, again, for everyone, why it took me time and took me to go through this was I wanted to process things. I wanted to reflect upon the behaviors that I've engaged in, reflect upon everything that happened. I wanted to listen to the concerns of people. Are you and Dean still cool? Yes, Dean and I are still cool. We're still friends.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
That's
it's
good.
nothing like I'm not friends with people. So I just, you know, I'm addressing this because I think it's important for me to address this alone. Like I addressed this with Dean and with the entire tour, but I definitely don't feel like I addressed it enough from my point and my perspective where people could understand that I need to be held accountable, that it's important to hold me accountable. It's important for people on the left to deconstruct.
Deconstruct, guys.
And that I'm still engaging in that process of deconstruction, right? Especially with people like around me who are my friends, still engaging in deconstruction. It's an important thing to do.
True.
Is that it's a continual process of deconstruction.
Yes. King.
And like, again, for people who didn't hear prior, again, a good way to deconstruct is to stop and listen to people who are in marginalized communities, right? It's to continue to educate yourself, right? Whether this be in ways that are effective for you, whether that be through infographics, videos, theory, reading books. There's so many different ways. Audiobooks especially, because I'm one of those people that I'm not someone who really enjoys reading, but audiobooks can be effective in those circumstances. Theory can be effective in those circumstances for like based upon like a what's the word I was looking for? Audiobooks and like people break down theory and like videos and stuff like that, YouTube, and what was the other word I was looking for? Videos, YouTube.
What else?
Audiobooks. Wow, I'm sorry. My brain is all over the place.
It's okay. It's a stressful situation.
So again, for anyone who's still coming in here, I just want to clarify one more time. Oh, podcast. Yes, that's a great thing. I'll clarify one more time. And then, by the way, I'm going to bring people up and I'm going to talk about things, let people ask questions, bring constructive criticism, things like that.
Thank
Again, I think
God.
that's really important,
Yes.
again, to hold us accountable and to not just like, you know, like
You can't just move past this like
not
nothing
address these things.
happened.
I think it's super important to address them.
Yes.
So again, to recap for people who are just joining in, Z, one of the organizers for the Unfuck America tour, engaged in racist microaggressions towards
Jesus.
a panel of black women.
Unbelievable.
And this was something that the tour was informed about before.
That's the worst thing. These guys knew. They already knew about the microaggressions.
Again, under our impression, we thought this was being like privately addressed, and we hoped that it would lead to a public addressal, like addressing of this, and possibly her stepping down. Like, and that's something that I would have wanted, and I think that I didn't do enough in ensuring that that happened prior to the tour, enforcing that to happen prior. I think that that's something I have responsibility for and something that I need to take accountability for. And like I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree with people that say that I did nothing wrong.
He did do wrong. Thank God he's also is it self-flagellation? Is he self-flagellating himself? Self-flagellating himself. Good one.
I think those are important things to address. And I think that right now is a good time to have people come up and to ask questions and to do
Reflection. Thank God. Yes.
do Q&A about everything that happened, constructive criticism. I think that's super important.
Agreed.
So we are going to address things and answer questions and stuff like that. So do give me a second, everyone, and we will address this.
Okay.
Alrighty.
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 Let me make sure that I keep this on. Yo, what's up?
Hi, I've actually never requested up here, but really enjoy your live. I've noticed that Santana and Dean have all took accountability, and I really do appreciate you for taking the time to hop on as well. And I understand the next steps with Z and the Unfuck America tour, but one thing I haven't got confirmation on is how you all will be moving forward with Johnny.
Ooh, does he need
His
to be canceled?
microaggressions were really bad from what I've seen in live. And I'm
Damn, I don't even know who Johnny is. Johnny microaggressed as well? Oh my God. Unbelievable, Johnny.
His microaggressions were really bad from what I've seen in live, and I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, I'm actually not as familiar with what has happened with Johnny as of right now. That's something that I need to look into.
You don't even know? Are you fucking serious?
I need to look into
Do you even care about black women?
recently. So that's not something I'd be able
What the
to address.
fuck?
Like frankly, but like as of right now. So like
Gotcha.
yeah,
I would say
I
just to
definitely
try to
will.
get ahead of it, because I don't want, again, for it to come out like you're kind of avoiding it as well.
Yeah.
But he does need to be reprimanded for his actions and how he continues to deflect and victimize himself.
True.
Yeah, I think that accountability is super important. I think that it's really important to address these things. That's why I think that this live is really important to do, especially to talk to people,
Yeah.
and especially so people can provide constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely hope that people provide this as well to me and hold me accountable as well. And I will look into this, and it's definitely not something that I want to like gloss over or not look at. So I think that those things are very important.
Gotcha. Well, that's the only question I have. And yeah, definitely don't talk to that Z girl no more. She's insane.
True.
But
She's
yeah,
crazy.
I'll go.
Appreciate
How
you.
do I get
coming
up out of here?
Thank you so much.
How do I leave?
Oh,
Okay,
I got you. I got you. Don't worry. So people are telling me to turn the comments off. I'm
people are
not quite sure if
microaggressing
that's something that
in the
people would
comments?
like in the comments, or
But we
if
also
that's
need to
something that
center
would
black
be
voices in the
effective to do.
comments. So what do you want me to do, guys?
No. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for telling me. I just wanted to make sure to address that with the chat and everything before. Alrighty. Let me try to get someone up here.
Okay. I'm sure he's got black women lined up to come in. to come in.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank God. Yes.
Hi.
Another queen.
Parker, I respect everything you're saying and everything you're doing. I just wanted to know what was going to happen with the Peyton situation.
What happened to Peyton?
I'm actually not really familiar fully with what's
Is he
happening
based
with
or is
Peyton.
he cringe? Did he become cringe?
I do know
Uh-oh.
to some degree. One thing I do want to say is that I think it's important for white people to call out racism, and I do think that Peyton played an instrumental role
Thank
in
God.
calling
Yeah.
these things out,
But-
and I do think that needs to be addressed. And although I do think that there are legitimate concerns, I do think that he should have talked to and addressed everyone on the tour who was black. I think that would have been important, especially so that there would have been less misinformation spread. But I do think that it was important that there was an original addressing of this and accountability, and I think that those things are important to address. That's at least the perspective on that I take. I'm not quite familiar with anything else associated with Peyton. but I do think that it's important to like call out racism, call out microaggressions.
True. King.
Okay, I was just checking, and also, I noticed like in your comment section, a lot of reasons why everyone is saying right now to turn them off is because there has been a lot of comments saying that there is no reason that like white individuals need to apologize for how Black people feel about certain like comments being made because of certain things. So
Disgusting.
I didn't know if like I was just letting you know about that situation. That's why the comments, certain people want the comments off.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is something that I would like to say to the chat. I
We
think
would like to turn comments off to get rid of these bad comments, but I also kind of want to center Black voices. And so I have to kind of keep comments on. So I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to balance this out.
it's important to hold white creators accountable for the behavior that they engage in. I don't agree with the people who think that there shouldn't be anything addressed, right? When people of a marginalized community speak up about the fact that something has harmed them, I think it's important to acknowledge those things. So I very much disagree with the comments on that, and I also just I am open to that, but I also just like to turning off the comments, but I just also just don't want to limit people from saying anything.
True.
Or to being able to hold me accountable.
He's like a fucking hostage. He's like petrified that if he turns off comments, that these same people are going to be making posts about him or lives or whatever the fuck later on, saying that oh, he was trying to silence critical voices by turning off comments. That's why he's leaving them on, by the way. That's what he's petrified of right now.
Or to be able to address things in the chat. So I'm actually not quite sure.
Doesn't even know what to do.
Whether or not I should turn them off at this point. Do you have an opinion on that specifically?
Tell me what to do.
I wouldn't turn them off at all. I wouldn't turn them off at all.
Okay,
People are going to think
you.
People have the right to have their own opinion. And at the end of the day, it's always going to end up like that. So I would just keep them open because everyone's point of view is valid, even if it is offensive.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if I would say that
Careful. When you say everyone, you mean white people as well? Because, I don't know if we're buying that one, Queen.
people who have offensive opinions like theirs are valid. The reason why I would want to keep the chat open is not for the people engaging in
not the offensive people, not the whiteies, but the Black queens.
Type of offensive behavior or racism or anything like that, or microaggressions. It's so that people can hold me accountable, can address any constructive criticism that they have for me, the tour, how I'm involved with the movement, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
Base.
That's
Good
all
answer.
I have, Parker. Thank you for having me up.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer, King.
Again, everyone, I just want to address that with the chat. Please don't be going around saying that I shouldn't be having to take accountability. I think it's really instrumentally important for me to take accountability and for me to address this, everyone.
True.
I think that's a really important thing for us to do, especially as creators.
True.
I also just want to address that. Also, please do not be fucking microaggressive in the comment section.
Are you microaggressing in the comment section when this is about microaggressing? Guys, come on.
That's also something I've been hearing about on Discord and in the comment sections on a lot of these streams. Please do not do that. I think that's important to address.
Hello?
Yeah, what's
Hello?
up?
So, one thing that's confusing me about
Do you think
this
he has somebody screening callers for just exclusively Black women?
situation as a Black woman is, I believe you guys,
Oh,
right?
what? Oh,
the woman,
What'd you say?
sorry.
the woman who was hosting the tour, you guys knew her, right? Before,
Uh-oh. Did you
The
know
tour
she was a
happened?
racist crack-ass bitch?
So yeah, the way that I met Z was some of my friends informed me that there was someone trying to do a tour. So this was the only time I met her wasn't any time prior to the notion of the Unfuck America tour, but it was them coming to us with the idea of the Unfuck America tour. So I didn't know them prior or anything like that, but I did know them prior to boots on the ground in Texas.
okay. Yeah, I was just trying to, because in my mind, I was just asking because typically, people like this, they'll say things
yeah, that show you they're racist.
they'll say the microaggressions and stuff like that behind the scenes.
oh,
So
yeah.
I was just trying to make sure that it wasn't a situation where it was
Where you guys were hearing the
Dean R.
microaggressions.
you may have overheard things. Sorry, I'm nervous. May have overheard things like in person and then ignored it until it hit the internet.
Yeah. Not good, guys.
So I didn't hear anything in person. The specific like microaggressions I'm addressing on live that Z engaged in were microaggressions on a live like full of a panel of Black women that were bringing up valid concerns like about the Unfuck America tour, like how it's branded, like what is the goal of everything? What are we getting from this?
Yeah.
And she was like racist, engaging in racist microaggressions on that live.
Yikes.
And this was stuff that the tour knew about prior, and it was something that we, at least to my understanding, thought was being privately addressed. I wanted there to be a public addressal for this, and for there to be like some type of step down. And when it comes to that, none of those concerns were met. Especially to hindsight
degree that
looking
he
back on
wanted
this, and
them
like
to
I
be?
think that I genuinely and Dean and
You guys messed
should
up.
have forced more accountability and addressing of this prior to being boots on the ground, because when we were on the boots on the ground, it's not like we can leave at that point. There's people there, there's creators there already, things like that. So I definitely think that there should have
They fucked
been,
up big.
especially from me, right?
Yeah.
There should have been a public, or there should have been a force, right? Like we force
Yeah.
like them to either provide the accountability, the step down before, or we're not even going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hindsight, I think that like me not doing that is very bad,
Oh, yeah.
very, very bad. And it's something I need to take accountability for. And
They love that accountability
that's,
word.
like one of the reasons I'm on here today and addressing this. And I think that's important to address and hold ourselves accountable for.
Thank you. And I understand everything you're saying. Another thing that kind of threw me off is so like it wasn't exactly you, but you were in the live stream. It was the one that took place like yesterday or 2 days ago.
And he saw
then
the
Dean did an
microaggression?
individual live stream. And
Oh, I hope not.
I don't know, Peyton was kind of, it seemed like the way everybody was talking about Peyton, it was like as if he was being villainized. And I was just kind of confused on that because
He was literally a
from
white
what I'm
savior.
seeing from Peyton's content is that you guys didn't take action and Peyton did.
Wow.
And I don't know, I'm just kind of confused on why like Dean and everyone was so upset with Peyton.
Yeah, some of the things that I've heard as reasons why is that he didn't talk to all the Black creators involved with the tour to like specify certain things, and like he spreaded misinformation about those types of things. But I do think that he played an instrumental like role in like calling this out, and I think it was important for him to call this out. So I want to make it clear that like it's important to call those things out. I don't think that people think he did something wrong by calling it out. I think that people were saying that they had something wrong with like him.
Listen to
not
these
addressing
white
it with, like,
excuses.
the Black creators involved with the tour.
Okay. And another thing that I just have to ask, and this isn't really like tour related, but it's like Black community related. So I've been watching like y'all content for a while, and you guys like tend to cover like bad things that Donald Trump is doing and like stuff that he's acting on. But sometimes like my side of TikTok, it's very like Black American. So like I'm very like on the Black community side of the TikTok. And a lot of the things that happen that like Donald Trump is doing, I don't know, I'll see like the Black community talk about certain things that he's doing that specifically affect Black Americans, but then I don't see you guys cover it in your content ever. It's more like things that white Americans can also be impacted by. Like I don't see like on Black TikTok, it's like even like certain, I don't know the specific thing that he did, but it was something he did. I'm sorry, I can't think of the specific thing right now, but it was something he did. When he got rid of something that would allow businesses to not be able to segregate. That had like the Black community in a chokehold
And
for
the
like
white people didn't say
months.
shit about
My
it.
whole TikTok.
You remember your key answer here as a white soy leftist is always, I just didn't want to center myself over Black voices. I just wanted to give Black people an opportunity to talk about it. But then if they're 7 soy steps ahead of you, they'll go, I agree, it's not your place to say anything about it, but you could have used your platform to center Black voice. You could have brought on Black people to speak about it. And then your counter would try to speak, well, I thought they were getting enough attention already, and I didn't want to make it about myself by hosting those people. But then their counter could be, well, then you shouldn't have posted anything when that was going on so that people wouldn't be watching your TikToks instead of, I don't know, it's fucking retarded.
all I saw was that. And then like y'all didn't cover it at all. And I was just so surprised.
Yeah, what the
Like there's
fuck?
just a lot of things, I don't know, that the
Yeah.
Black community gets so concerned about that Donald Trump is doing and that whole party, and I just never see you guys
guys don't say
cover
shit
it.
about
That's
it.
all. I'm not saying you
True.
guys do that on purpose
They
or not.
do.
I'm just saying
It is
like
on purpose. It is
one
on
thing I would
purpose,
like
Queen.
to see more is maybe some of that, but I don't know if just because, like I said, like my media consumption, it's a predominantly Black space, so maybe you guys aren't seeing this, but I don't know. That was just something that was a concern I had.
Yeah, so to my understanding, it was to remove protections for segregation, like within
Yes.
the context of the federal government,
Yeah.
and it is something that has been brought up on live, but I agree it's something that should be
Talk
talked
about more. True.
And I agree that like especially like the lives that I've run and whatnot, especially historically, haven't talked
talk
enough
about it enough.
about issues that extend
the
towards
Black community.
America.
Yes.
And I think it's important
King.
to address that and to diversify my content more. And that's something that I have been thinking about, and I've heard people bring up recently that I think is important to like add into like my content,
Thank
especially
you.
for the future.
Thank you.
So I would agree with that as as like an important thing to like address, like more than I currently do.
Thank you to the people in the comments who are saying W Kiara, but there was one comment I saw and they said if he was to do that, you guys will all call him a white savior.
Ooh.
And that's not true. That
Oh, he brought up the. Oh no, he brought up the thing. Wait. Does she have the counter?
had to be a white person who commented that, because that is not true. That is not true at all. Like, that is not what Black Americans call white saviors.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also think it's like talking about that process. It's important also
all we got.
to
Okay.
like
That's okay.
to be involved with Black creators, right? So that I can like build up their platforms, right? And I can specifically like help direct people towards these issues that are
Oh, there we go. Okay, he's kind of got it. All right, we got the counter. Okay, we got all the story narratives here. There we go.
being addressed, right? By people who are members of those communities, and I think that's an important thing to do. And I think that like explicitly like co-hosts engaging with people, especially like me going on their platform, is a very effective way for promoting that. So that's something that I would argue is like something that I need to do more.
Okay. And another thing that threw me off, back to the tour topic, is I don't really know how she plays into this, but there was a creator, her name is Sam. And
Okay.
everybody was arguing with her. And from my perspective, when I was listening to her, I felt like her points were valid because when she was talking, she seemed like she was one of the creators that was trying to inform everyone, specifically the Johnny creator,
Okay.
about the racist actions that the woman who was hosting the tour, she was trying to inform Johnny on it.
Okay.
In a live stream, and he kind of microaggressively dismissed her.
What? There were
And-
more microaggressions?
And so then later on, Dean has a stream, and it has Johnny and Sam. Sorry for the pronouns. They. And they were talking to Johnny, and it was just, I don't know, Johnny was just very like victim mindset. There wasn't a lot of accountability, and it just seemed like,
Gross.
once again, like someone who was Black American was being villainized. Sam, they were being very villainized throughout that whole live stream. I don't know, that just kind of confused me. I didn't like how they tried to put this narrative on Sam like they were just some raging person. I don't know, but at the same time, I don't understand the full situation. But from what I just seen, I don't know. But like I said, I don't know the full situation. Like some people, the comments are very split. Some people are like, I don't know, the comments are split. I don't really know the full situation, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like any microaggressions that Johnny would engage in, I think he should be held accountable for, and that should be addressed. And there were plenty of valid concerns brought up by Sam that I have heard specifically that I think need to be addressed. And a lot of people that I've brought up, very valid concerns that people have brought up. So
Yeah, true. This is basically a microaggression festival. That's what it feels like was basically going on. Are the white creators going to address this?
I typically think it's important in these contexts to again, like especially as white creators, to listen, right? To stop, to listen, to educate ourselves. So I think that's a really important thing that I would stress as to why like I think other creators, especially those that are around me, should be doing as well, and something that I would like to address with them as well, right? So that they know to like address.
Okay, meme break. What is this? Whew, this guy's about to be real mad. I can tell.
Two white people are
Oh no.
two white people are about to rehabilitate a racist white woman's image by throwing a bunch of black women under the bus and writing them off as crazy leftists.
These are not people that even believe in the electoral process. Like they've said that. They've like one of the girls on this live said, because another person had joined and said like, hey, don't you think that this is like not helping us electorally? Like maybe we should like think about that. And she said, the Democratic Party, I don't want them to fucking win anyway.
There are some other pretty astonishing things that happen.
Astonishing.
In this video. Throwing Dean under the bus entirely
Oh
is
my
pretty
God.
funny. But I can't get over that. I mean, this is so racist. So incredibly racist.
So racist.
I've seen the live.
It's
If
insane.
someone did say that, it was not a part of the conversation. The thrust of things was not F the Democratic Party. The thrust of things was, Z, why are you being such a racist?
True.
I am not quick to excuse crazy leftist behavior, so you know when I say this, that was not a room full of crazy leftists. And who let her go on and be racist like this? It's destiny.
Oh
of
my
course.
God. Of course.
Now I fully recognize that it's a little bit embarrassing for me to like know who this is, to know who, you know, Ethan Klein is, et cetera, et cetera. I stopped watching television a couple of years ago. I like basically never watch television. I find interesting stuff to watch on YouTube. And when you do that, you just get exposed to these people.
I like guys make excuses for even knowing who I am.
I try my best not to engage with this kind of content, but I do know a little bit about that whole world. And the fact that she is going on a program with him right now is
Yikes. Major
really
yikes.
something.
Really says a lot. Okay, sorry.
Those things.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. I just had questions on the tour thing. And my only, like, literally, I feel like the way you're handling this is perfect.
Yeah.
I personally don't have, like, any critique, like, with the way the tour thing is being handled on your end or anything. My only feedback was just the whole, like, maybe covering some more things that are happening in
the
Black
Black
America
community.
with what's happening, you know? Because I do see, like, oh, everybody's constantly talking about it who's Black, but then, like, you guys don't cover it. And I'm like, what? Like, how could they not talk about this?
Yeah.
So that's, like, that's my main feedback. That's the only thing. I appreciate you for letting me come up here. When I sent my comments in there, I did not think you were going to pull me up here. So I was so nervous. So thank you for letting me speak up here. And please keep up the hard work that you're doing. Yeah.
I appreciate you. I do just want to clarify one more time. I do think that like there was something wrong with the way that I responded. I think that I should have forced accountability like before the tour. I think that I should have got them to address this publicly
Punishment.
before the tour. And I think that's something that needs to be important to be addressed. That like that's something I should have done. And I also think that your concerns with like especially like with me addressing things that negatively impact the Black community to a greater extent is extremely important for me to address on my live. So I think that's I think that was a really important thing to bring up.
Thank you. And thank you guys in the comments. You guys are very sweet. Okay, I'll get off here so other people can speak their opinions.
Appreciate you coming up. Alrighty, everyone. Let me go up to the next person real quick, everyone. Let me go to the next person real quick. Let me see. Yo, what's up?
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I did not expect you to accept my request, but I joined a little late, so I did not see everything that the lovely lady before me said. There were a couple things that I think maybe she wasn't aware of based on, again, what I saw her speak about. But before I get into that, I just want to say, like, I really like your response to the situation. Like, I can tell you're sitting here listening to what she had to say, and it seems like you're apologetic for whatever things that people had an issue with. And my issue with the whole situation, I did see the clips of Z speaking to the women in that live. And I was very happy with the way that Peyton addressed the situation so quickly. I did see people say that he was misinformed on some topics, and I saw a clip of Dean's live, and a lady named Mermaid, I'm not sure her actual name, but she was saying that her issue was that Peyton didn't come and speak to the people actually involved in the Black people, the Black creators involved in the tour. But from what I saw, and I saw some text messages between someone named Tashika, who was in the live, and Peyton, where she sent him the live and said, this is...
I would give him $1 trillion if he would have said real quick, hold on, just checking, because you mentioned talking to Black. Was Tashika, was that a Black person?
something that I experienced and sent him the clip, and then he went on to make the video. And I just felt like a lot of people were upset with Peyton, and I wasn't really understanding why. Because from my perspective, he saw something that he thought was unacceptable, and I agree. If you are the organizer for an event, you shouldn't be in somebody's live calling them you people, saying you're bullying me, saying you guys are going crazy on me, saying if you knew anything about organizing, you would know this. I thought it was very weird coming from her and somebody that's supposed to be uplifting our community. It kind of just seems like she wanted to suppress Black voices, and I don't think you can have a progressive movement if you're not uplifting everyone. It kind of seemed like,
especially
oh, well,
Black
you don't know what
voices.
you're talking about. You aren't involved in organizing. And mind you, she doesn't know these women. These women could be organizers in their community. They could have roles in other movements. So to hear Z speak to them like that, it was like very concerning. And then seeing the way that people involved in the tour responded was also crazy. Like the way they called him and said, we're gonna report the rental car stolen if you don't have it back in time, kicking him off the tour. I'm just like,
why would they kick
none of
him
this
off
needed
the
to
tour?
happen. If the only response I think that
Just
should have been
for
from
trying to
Payne's video
destroy
was,
it.
this is unacceptable. We're so sorry for her behavior. We're going to incorporate this feedback, and moving forward, we will have procedures in place to make sure people who are organizers are not in spaces where they are disrespecting people that are part of the movement. Because I honestly feel like that took away so much momentum from the actual movement. Like on my For You page, I haven't seen any videos from the actual tour. The only thing I've seen is like controversy. So I actually would like to hear a little bit about how the event went, because I haven't seen anything about it. But yeah, I'm sorry for talking so long, but that was kind of my thoughts on the situation.
I definitely denounced the response from National Ground Game. I think that response was not effective. I think it wasn't good. And I, especially looking on hindsight, I think that they should have addressed that significantly better. I think it was unprofessional the way that they responded to this, especially even going on the panel in the first place from Z's perspective. I think she engaged in racist microaggressions. I think that's like really important for us to acknowledge. And especially like when Z was saying that, like some of the women on that panel, at least to my knowledge, did have organizational experience, right? So like that's like, it's so insane to me, right? Looking back on it, I think that those are insane. And to touch onto specifically stuff with like what we were doing on the tour. So there was plenty of things that happened on the tour that limited us from operating in the original way that it was supposed to, like on the ground. But it involved like us speaking to people that came there for the event, talking to like Charlie Kirk supporters and debating them, spreading education, right? Those were like types of the things that we engaged in. There were plenty of clips that surrounded after of like us debating, us like spreading education. Some really important voices speaking on the campaign, I think, were important to like talk about and to like do that type of debate. I think that type of debate is really needed. That type of conversation is very needed, especially from like an entire group
from
of,
white people,
like left-wing creators. I think that's an important thing that we haven't had historically speaking. And I like the idea of everything, but the National Ground Game, the people involved with organizing it, definitely 100%, right, were unprofessional, absolutely engaged in racist microaggressions towards Black women, especially on that panel.
True.
So I think it's important to, from our perspective, the creators is what we're doing. We're not engaging with National Ground Game. We had like these, Santana went on live yesterday and was kind of describing, we had like these 3 set conditions that we went to them with, like Z's got to step down, they got to do something with the $100,000 that was raised, and like there needs to be a public apology and addressing of this from Z, which none of those criteria were met.
Wow.
Which is like, I can't even believe it. It's like actually wild that they aren't meeting any of the criteria. So what a lot of me and some of the other creators involved with have responded with is that we want to engage with like with another pack to sort of do the exact same type of movement and have those types of conversations on college campuses to spread education without the involvement of National Ground Game. And also, like we are currently right now trying to get receipts for everything that is happening or that has happened with the money, because they are claiming that it was quote unquote spent already, like on this event.
Yeah,
which,
right.
To my understanding, was not how this was supposed to go, and that they had original money that they were spending on this. And that the money that was raised for this was to do future things, you know? Yeah. So I think that money should be used for voter registration, for getting people to vote for progressive ideals. And to me, it sounds really fucking crazy that it's not being used for that right now. So I will let everyone know, like we on the back end really are addressing this and want to like get something effectively done with the money. So that's an important thing.
Thank you.
There are a couple of things I want to ask your opinion on, and you don't have to answer if you don't feel comfortable, but I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments mentioning Dean. And I think it's more so of his response to the situation. Like I said, I did see a clip where he was addressing Peyton and another woman was in the live, I believe a Black woman, and her username was Mermaid something. And to me, it was like so antagonizing. They were making it seem like Peyton was the problem, and I didn't really understand, like, from their perspective, maybe he could have gone about it a different way, waited a little longer, got some more information. But they're trying to make it seem like he was speaking on behalf of people who didn't want to be spoken for, and also saying like, why are you speaking for Black people? But in my opinion, that is something that we would like from white people to use their privilege and their platform to amplify Black voices. And he spoke on it because he was sent the clip from a Black woman.
Yes.
And then another thing, I did hear about that money. That's crazy. I don't know what happened to the money, but it's just things like this that take away from the movement because it's so much controversy when it could have been way more organized.
Who is Peyton? This is the only picture we have of Peyton. I think he's this guy. He's got long, beautiful hair.
Organized, and if you take criticism well and incorporate that into the plan, it could have been improved so much. But instead, they kind of take it as a personal attack instead of critique. So on Z's part, I think that's a big issue, and she has a lot to reflect on. I don't know her, so I can't really comment on her. But from what I saw, that was not appropriate behavior, especially from someone who is the lead organizer.
Yeah, true.
And then back to my thing about Dean. Yeah, I was very surprised at his response to that, and a lot of people are saying that he's upset because it came out beforehand and he hadn't spoken on it. And this is not my opinion, but that it came out, it made him look bad because he didn't speak on it. And it also, he didn't speak on it because he wanted to check. I don't think that, but
we need some advice. What's the strat if you're in a situation like this? I mean, if you're like a low-level peon, I mean, you kind of just have to go along with it, I guess. Otherwise, you're going to get bullied out of your social group. But I think if you're somebody like Dean or Parker, also, I'm kind of being harsh on them. I'm not like trying to super shit on these guys. I wish that they would take a slightly stronger stance on this. Like, there's no reason why this had to go as crazy as it ended up going. Like, I think they could have taken a better stance on this, but
can see where people are coming from with that, because Peyton was saying that he was made aware, like he was sent the clip. So people were just questioning, why has it not been spoken on?
Yeah, so at least the way that I would respond to this is that, like, it's very, very important to address these types of things and to call this stuff out. I think that's a very important thing to address. So I think it was important for Peyton to call this out, but I think
in a perfect world, what should they have done? In a perfect world, they should have just said, hey, people got into an argument on a live. It was kind of unprofessional. People were saying things for people's feelings. Like, we're going to figure out what went wrong or whatever, and we're going to do better going forward. And that's it. It's pretty easy. Not everything in life needs an insanely fucking over-the-top dramatic response. I don't know what has brainwashed people on the internet these days, that, like, you can't just say, like, oh, there was some shit, it was bad, like, this isn't good, we're going to try to do some whatever thing going forward, like, that's it. That, for some reason, that's just not possible. There has to be the most dramatic response ever to things, and I don't know why that is the case, but
that what I heard from the Black creators that were involved on the tour was that they would have preferred, right, that to be addressed from like him to go talk to the Black creators to clarify information before, so that there wasn't misinformation that was spread, because Peyton did engage in some misinformation. But like, again, it was really important calling out the racism, calling out the microaggressions. I think that is an incredibly important thing. And then for like the specifics that would relate to Dean, I don't know if I could specifically respond to that. I feel like that's a question that would be like for Dean specifically.
Right.
So like I think that like there would be like I would have to like sort of like Dean needs to respond to that himself, I guess. And I guess based on like my first interpretation of the question, but you could re-ask it. I might be able to answer it. I might be just getting caught up in my thoughts real quick.
I'm seeing people saying, why am I asking Parker? And I should ask Dean. How am I going to ask Dean? He's not here. And then also, I'm asking Parker for his opinion, not what does Dean think. Obviously, he doesn't know what Dean thinks. I just wanted to know what his opinion was on that, because I'm seeing, even right now, I'm seeing so many comments like contradicting opinions. I'm just trying to ask questions that I'm seeing pop up because people are asking, and I'm trying to amplify what y'all are asking in the comments.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate you asking those questions. I think that these are important questions to ask and to clarify on and stuff like that. I again feel like I want to touch back like on like the tour aspect of this. I think it's really important that we have a movement that is going to push progressive ideals, and I do think professionalism involved. So I think, especially on my end, I think it's important that when I decide to engage with people, especially for like that, I need to like do more research on the people, make sure that they're professional beforehand. And that's something that I need to address. I don't have a management company. I work alone. And it's something that I need to like be looking in myself before. I need to be clarifying before.
True.
When it comes to that aspect to it. So like that is definitely like again something that I need to do better, something I need to reflect upon. Especially for like, and this applies even beyond like tours or like I've never had like a specific brand deal or anything, but if I were to have that or anything like that, it's like important, especially for just coalition building in general. It's important to like do that type of research.
True.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying like Tashika lied and stuff. Y'all go, I don't know her handle, I'm sorry, but go to her TikTok page. She literally talks about the situation and shows the text messages she sent to Peyton. And she said like a lot of the sentiment that he shared was directly from her. So I'm not really sure what y'all are talking about. But yeah, if you have questions, please go and look at her page. Go look at Peyton's page. Go look at Dean's page. Like, go and look at all the clips before you guys are making these assumptions, because I feel like all these negative comments is a big reason why a lot of people don't speak up, because you guys don't want to have discourse in good faith. Like, you just want to have somebody to hate on and somebody to rag on. Like, I see a lot of people talking negatively about Parker. Parker is sitting here listening to me and listening to other people and giving his opinions on the situation. True. Like, just listen, and if you have a genuine question, put it. Like, don't antagonize people.
True.
Like, literally someone telling me stop crying. Like, why are you even in here if you're not going to listen? That's so rude. Like, what?
Yeah, I also
She's
think it's like
losing it.
important to not like demean what Veronica's saying, because like saying that she's like complaining or crying is exactly the type of microaggressive behavior that we're talking about right now that we think is bad and think is
True.
like demeaning of Black women's voices.
True.
So I really think it's fucked up for people to like engage in that type of behavior right now. I think that's really fucked.
You're actually
I think that we
microaggressing
should be
right now,
listening
guys.
to people who have concerns right now, and people who have concerns, especially with me. I think a lot of the concerns are valid concerns, right? And I understand it, and I think it's important to call me out and to hold me accountable. And like I'm not looking for people to just like be like super pro Parker or to like not address my behaviors. I really want people to address my behaviors. I want people to hold me accountable, because that type of same behavior it happens with other people too, and that carries on so many other places. And that behavior is very
Sounds like
important,
he's gonna cry.
normalized in our society. So that's why I think it's so important to like be able to hold me accountable, especially people who are in my comment section, especially people who have supported me historically. Right? It's really important to address those things.
True.
Like they want to come up here. But I just want to say, like, yeah, having conversations in good faith is so important. And I feel like this whole situation has really hurt many movements, honestly, because imagine if this was Peyton's last straw. Like, he literally came up here and tried to speak up for Black
Peyton
people,
is
and
the
then he has
one.
all these people
Is
intact.
Peyton even that large of a creator compared to the other two? Compared to Dean and Parker? How big is Peyton of a creator?
Recognizing him, harassing him, coming in his comments, calling him a white savior. Like, this whole situation came to light because of him. Imagine if he never said anything. I guarantee you all of this would have been swept.
You mean swept under the rug? Ooh.
All of this would have been swept these comments. I had no idea about
Or not microaggression, sorry. I mean misspeak.
any of this until Peyton spoke on it. So while some people may not agree with the way he went about it, at least he addressed the situation. And that's something I respect about Peyton, even though he doesn't always, I guess, organize or script out his videos to the highest extent. Like, he speaks from emotion and he speaks from a place of his morals and his values. I feel like he's been very consistent with his values, and that's like a big thing for me, because I feel like I'm actually really sad, because I feel like this situation has made me question Dean just because of the way he came at Peyton.
Ooh.
And I'll have to look at some more clips of their conversation, but
Questioning Dean.
it's just, yeah, like, engaging in good faith discourse is so important. Like, it's important to have these conversations, even if you disagree. Like, just be respectful and be decent. Like, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I am gonna go on to the next person. Do give me a second, everyone. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yo, what's up?
So sorry, I did not mean to request, but I appreciate what you're doing right now.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you. Alrighty.
Okay. Who's next?
Oh,
What's
awesome.
up?
Hey, what's up? Okay. There was a couple of things I needed to say. First of all, cool, you're actually speaking out. You were one of the more quiet ones in the background for a second, but it's a good thing that you're actually talking about this now. A couple of things to begin with, and I'm going to kind of hit a couple of points before I finally address what needs to be addressed. I really need people to hop off of Peyton real quick. And the only reason I say this is, yes, it's a good thing that he called out the racism. Cool. But one thing y'all failed to realize was he microaggressed Mermaid and Simple within Dean's life. Now,
he didn't even get to be the white savior. Oh no, even he wasn't good enough. Ooh. Okay, Queen, let's hear it.
Begin with, I was watching the entire interaction from beginning to end with Payne going on the panel and him leaving. Prior to the live that he joined, yes, he stood up for people that needed, somebody to speak up. He stood up for Alina when Dan did the whole 7+ hour live on her. He stood up for numerous other people as well. Now, the problem I'm having other people as well. Now, the problem I'm having, why was I kicked off of the tour? Now, it was giving very much self-serving. His energy was completely off from the whole entire
her internet
time
aggression.
that he has been saying something about it, right?
Microaggressing on me.
Now, the only reason I'm saying people really need to hop off him is because y'all failed to realize Peyton himself is white. I don't know why we're sitting here.
Oh, they didn't even know. You think Peyton knew? Oh my God. Damn. Oh my God. Okay, let's go.
That he has been saying something about it, right? Now, the only reason I'm saying people really need to hop off him is because a couple of other people did as well. Payne was not the only one that called. There's not just it wasn't just him, referring to Mermaid as obtuse or calling Simple pissed off, when all they did was say, hey, one thing we don't really like about what you did was the fact that you did not talk to, or you didn't even try to reach out to, all of the other Black people that were affected and involved with the tour, because what you did still negatively impacted us to begin with. That's all they were trying to say. And he very much clacked back at them with nasty ass energy, which is something that a lot of y'all are failing to realize. So him himself microaggressed people. It's not about disagreement. That's just that, right? So with you, Parker, I don't really have that much to say, just because, like I said, you were more of the quiet life happened, but I didn't really hear you speak. And I feel like that was, you
Bro,
know,
this
you were
microphone.
kind of there like as a emotional support, but it was still like a, you know, I don't even know how to kind of put it into words, but I do think that you yourself
tried.
could have been a little bit more vocal prior
Yeah.
to today. But like I said, it is a good thing that you are being more vocal as of right now. And with that being said, I would say the last thing is to address a couple of things. Like I said, some of y'all in the comments, I know a lot of y'all do not like Tashika, but at the same time, that does not justify any of the racism that is being directed towards anybody that is black and involved. So I really need y'all to get it together quickly, because it does not matter. I do not care. Just because I don't like somebody does not mean I'm going to let any type of racism, any type of colorism, any type of anti-blackness, fat phobia, or anything even be directed at a singular person, because y'all would be perpetuating white supremacy at the end of the day, period. So I don't care if y'all don't like Tashika. There's some things I disagree with Tashika about, but that does not mean that
You can microaggress on her.
period.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's important to acknowledge
True.
as well.
Queen. True.
Yeah,
Yes.
for specifically addressing like me not coming out and talking about things right away, and in terms of the role I played on the live. To be totally honest, I thought I didn't add much to that live. I thought it would make most sense to have other people speak on that live,
Yes.
as I thought their voices would make most sense
Center,
to be heard in that particular
voices,
moment. And
yes.
the reason why it's taken me like a few days since then to be able to address things is because I've had plenty of anxiety. I've been reflecting upon my behaviors, and thinking about like how best I should address this and talk about this, because I think that's an important thing to do. And that's at least like where I'm coming from in terms of like the motivations, for these particular types of actions, for me taking a while. And I definitely think that I should have addressed things quicker, right, earlier. And I think that's important to do.
True.
I mean, especially I just want to clarify for people the very first time, before the tour, I think I should have forced accountability on behalf of Z. I think I should have forced them to publicly address things, right, instead of believing that it would have been addressed, right, in the end, or believing I need to be more upfront with forcing people to do that type of thing, rather than just assuming a good nature in someone, especially someone who's engaged in microaggressive and racist actions just recently. Yeah.
I feel like that would be my last thing, is if we are, because one thing about me is I listen to my elders. I'm a black woman at the end of the day. My elders told me to sit the hell down, so I'm gonna sit the hell down, and I'm gonna still move in silence. I'm gonna still do my activism at the end of the day, but I'm not gonna be doing it as loud as we used to. And what you guys are doing, as you guys should, because one thing is I have followed, not you, but I follow some of the shit that you and Dean have done for years. You guys do good shit, and you guys have progressed a lot, and you guys have changed a lot in a long period of time. And I would say if we're going to be following specifically white people that are organizing certain events, I would just say vet them properly. Have conversations with them about certain subjects. See how they react to certain things. See how they react to certain people, just so you can get the gist of where they are and whether or not they are quote unquote nice or quote unquote kind, right? Because we know there's a difference between nice and kind. Nice is performative. Kind is your actual character and who you are as a person.
True.
So that's where I would say, pay more attention to on that front. And we need to stop. And I know you're white, but I'm just going to say it because this is why I tell everybody, we got to stop giving white people the benefit of the doubt.
True.
We really do. Because I also have the conversations on my main page as well, where all white people are inherently racist, and that's just because of racism being deeply ingrained within America. Some of y'all don't know that you guys say some racist shit, okay? I will give y'all the benefit of the doubt on that, but after a certain point in time, it's not really something I have the luxury of doing, especially when it comes to the progress of America and how I want us to move forward. And so, with that being said, I think the last thing that I was going to say is I understand the anxiety thing. I don't
you gotta get over it,
blame
dude.
you on that front. I have anxiety. I've called out people who have. I've called out neo-Nazis before on this platform.
Jesus.
Boy,
So
the way my
brave.
hands were shaking. So
Shaking.
don't worry. I understand.
I bet she was terrified of calling out Nazis
So
on
don't worry.
TikTok
I
Live.
understand.
Absolutely, I do agree. Like with vetting, and it's something I dropped. I talked about earlier in the live, and I definitely think is a good thing to do. I've had a lot of issues with trust, especially as of recently with people that I've engaged with on TikTok, people that have been around me, and I do think it's an important thing to vet and to ensure, right, that people have those types of opinions prior to engaging or working with them. So I definitely think vetting is super important.
Most definitely, but I said everything I needed to say, so you keep doing what you're doing. Listen to the valid criticisms. If there's, any type of thing whatsoever I would just take from this is listening to the Black voices in question. But, this is more just a learning moment and to become better from this. So you have a good day, or try to at least.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Let me try to get on to the next person real quick. Yeah, what's up?
Yo.
Hey, I guess, I'm sorry, can I just 1 second? Okay.
Oh, I thought this was a white guy for a second, but it's a black person.
Okay.
Thank God.
I guess the thing that I wanted to bring up is Specifically, I kind of feel like there's kind of like this toxic like debate bro culture that's like allowing issues like this to come up. It kind of feels like, not, I'm not saying you specifically, but like definitely people like in your circle kind of value more like proving people wrong rather than like actually educating the community. And oh, did my account just switch?
No, I don't see anything differently with your account.
I got like a message, so I was just wondering about that. But yeah, I don't know. Like even like the tour itself, it feels like this wouldn't have been an issue if there wasn't this idea like, oh, like we have to do this, we have to, you know, prove people wrong, like kind of dunk on Trump supporters, like things like that.
Yeah.
Rather than actually like having a conversation and like, I don't know. I'm not really good at wording it, but hopefully you can understand what I mean by that.
Yeah. I totally get that critique. I think that's an important critique because a lot of people who are involved with debates can only get involved with debates for that explicit purpose. So I understand especially why people have that perspective of people who do engage in debates, because you can absolutely engage in debates with that explicit intention. Now, for the tour though, I actually I think a great thing that we involved as a part of the tour was that people were just coming up and asking questions. Yeah, there were specific debates, especially with those in which who are MAGA, but I also think it was a space that we could create, especially on college campuses, for like asking questions, right? For talking about like what it means to like be on the left, like what should we be doing? And there were a lot of questions like asked about that. Now, those questions, like for example, those types of clips wouldn't be things that like are going to be vastly spread on social media, if that makes sense. So like it is probably things that people haven't even heard happened at the tour. But I think it's an important aspect of the tour that is like really good on college campuses, is that again there's an educational part of this, and I also think that there can be an educational aspect of debates, right, in terms of debating with people, but it can easily, right, like the culture of debates can shift it so that it's not about educating people and instead it's just about dunking on people. So I totally get the criticism. I think that's definitely like something to bring up, and I think it's important that people who are debating have that in mind so that it's not just I'm just trying to dunk on people. Although I think that, you know, dunking on people serves purposes, right? Like there's a purpose of dunking on MAGA in some circumstances. It just can't be like the only intention you have or the only motivation for what you're doing, because then you're gonna like completely be off track on like what you're supposed to be doing in terms of educating people, in terms of getting a correct message out there, in terms of changing people's typical cultural beliefs towards a more progressive light. Like that's the inevitable goal of all of these different types of debates that has to be like at the back of your mind as a motivation, right, when you're engaging in it, if it was the case that like it was like a debate or you are engaging in that type of behavior. So
True.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right.
Okay.
All right.
What's next?
Yeah, what's up?
I have a question. Do you know about the Canadian Conservatives?
No, I'm actually not very familiar.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering what was your opinion about them.
Oh, for sure. See, this live, for example, is kind of about like the Unfuck America tour and stuff like that. So I feel like this would be a perfect question maybe for like a different live or something like that. So is it possible I could follow you right now and you could ask me that question if you'd like?
Yes, please.
For sure. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming up.
Okay. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Damn. Shut down.
All right.
Oof. Oof.
Like something else going on in the
Yo, what's up?
line.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Are you there? Hello?
I'm not gonna hear myself. Wait, hold on. What's going on? Wait, hold on. What's going on?
All right.
Schizo moment.
Do give it a second. Yo, what's up?
Hey, how are you, Parker?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Hey, man, I don't want to waste your time, man. I know you're a busy individual. I just wanted to let you know, man, that, and could you pass this message on to Dean, too? Because I really wanted to tell Dean as well. I watch you guys religiously. I think you guys are amazing young men. Very bright, brilliant. I appreciate what you guys are doing with the situation. I really do. You and Dean. But what I want to ask you is just please don't take your eye off the ball, bro. Because you guys are making moves and you guys are making waves. And they want to see this between us arguing and fighting amongst each other. I get what you're doing, but you guys didn't say that. You know, I appreciate, as a black man, I appreciate what you guys are doing. But I'm not saying what you're doing isn't worth it. But I just want to see you guys get back on the horse and do what you guys are actually doing, what you guys are gifted at doing, man. That's all.
Absolutely. I think it's important to like keep the movement on, and that's especially why like a lot of me and the other creators
have to
right,
take
are wanting to
accountability.
and not being involved with Unfuck America Tour or National Ground Game. Still push the message. Still push the message. Like hold ourselves accountable, and although like some people try to portray it as like us holding ourselves accountable could take away from us because it helps people like Charlie Kirk or people on the right, I think it's like vital and important and necessary to hold us accountable, especially like white creators who are in these types of positions, so that like we actively meaningfully can have a broader coalition to be able to fight fascists, right, to be able to fight fascism. I don't think that we can just fight fascism without taking accountability. I think accountability is, especially for white creators, a very important aspect of fighting fascism.
True.
Right, and I agree with holding accountability, and I'm all about that. Accountability is everything. And I'm all about that. Accountability is everything. We can't progress if we don't hold ourselves and everyone else accountable around us. I don't want this mass amount of people that you have that follow you to pull you down in this hole to where we forget like what the actual goal is. That's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's important to address. I also think that like when it comes to that, there's also like people that are going to be going towards other creators, which also creates an important thing for other creators, especially those of marginalized communities, to be able to have a greater voice. Those of marginalized communities to be able to have a greater voice. Dean, or can't just be the people that are involved with the tour. All right,
Right.
It needs to be the tour. All right,
Right.
It needs to be.
You're a smart guy, man. I got mad respect for you, bro. I listen to you as much as I can. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm not gonna hold you up anymore. Keep up the good fight, man. Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, everyone. For the people in the chat saying that there is lag, I actually don't know what I could do about. Let me do a speed test real quick. I think my internet's fine. I don't know why it would be. Oh, it is a little bit slow.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, it could just be my internet. Wait, why is it not loading? It could just be my internet right now. I'm sorry, everyone. I can try to fix it right now. Is it getting better? It's TikTok, Parker, not you. See, I'm trying to look up speed test right now, and it's literally not loading. So it actually could be me. Is it fine now? Swipe in and out. It's okay now? All right. Okay, because, yeah, my PC's not even working. All right. Yeah, what's up?
Hi. Am I clear for you?
What'd you say?
Am I clear for you? Like, can you hear me clearly?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, the first thing I wanted to do was to address the people in the comments. First, I was like, turn the comments off, but I think it's good to keep it on because there was an influx of people coming in confused. And for them to see this conversation as distraction, it's a little bit disappointing because pointing out racism is not a distraction.
True.
It's part of the whole problem. Like,
True.
Hold on, let me sit up because I want to make sure I'm articulating this very clearly. When somebody is that shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable. That shouldn't make you feel like, oh, we need to look at the bigger picture. No, it's part of the bigger. It's a piece in the bigger picture.
Yeah,
so
guys.
if you don't fix that one, if you don't fix this, I mean, you can't ever fix racism, but if you don't fix it, how are you gonna achieve what you want to achieve? But yeah, that's what I wanted to address at first. And second, I think a lot of people are confused on why you're on here in the first place, and a lot of people are saying Z was being racist, but they never really say what she did that was racist. So. Can I like give a brief description or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Z came in a live full of a bunch of Black women.
Okay, this is important, guys. You're going to finally learn what all the microaggressions were about. Go ahead.
Sharing their grievances with the tour based on what they saw on the website or what has been promoted as, right? And the first thing she did when she came on there was to say, I know you guys aren't educated on, like, clearly they're speaking about politics. They know what they're talking about. So what makes you feel like they don't, like, for you to say they're uneducated, one, that was the first microaggression. Two, she was very hard on saying you people. And whenever somebody says you people, it's just, you just know where it's coming from. Like, you just know, deep down, you just know where it's coming from.
You knew she
the way
was
she was, like,
racist.
addressing the women, she was addressing them as if they were uneducated, as if, like, they were being aggressive. And then she started bringing up BIPOC people that were part of the tour. And then she said behind the scenes, like, they're not the face of the tour. They're just working behind the scenes like some workmen. So that was also very weird.
Seriously?
So all that together, of course, you can't say microaggression like it's racism in total, but it's part of racism. So if we don't call that out, it's gonna I don't know, SBN, whatever. But my question to you is, when you first found out about what Z did, right? What was the first step that you took to try to address the situation? Like, did you tell Z to step down, or did you feel like you had to make a statement and you were told not to?
Yeah, so for me, I wanted things to be like addressed, right? I was told that things were being addressed internally and that it might lead to her like addressing things publicly and also like stepping down, which is something that I was wanting. That is something that I wanted to be involved in that process. So there's also like, for example, like lots of context that that Santana added specifically in terms of the timeline when he went live yesterday. And I would really like tell people to go check out and to see what Santana specifically said, because Santana went through like a whole timeline on everything. I'm also pretty sure that there's probably going to be like a timeline coming out here pretty soon that is more extensive and whatnot, that will make it a little bit more clear. But like, yeah, in terms of me, it's definitely something I wanted to be addressed and something that like privately I was told was being addressed. But yeah, like now from the learning after, everyone was talking about after, we knew that they were that wasn't true. Right, we had Santana, and this was like a call yesterday that happened. There were like 3 sets of criteria if we were to like continue engaging with National Ground Game. One was that Z steps down. 2 is that they have to do something with $100,000. I think we raised like $110,000. They have to do something with $110,000 that's relating to like increasing voter turnout and like progressive movement.
Gotta give it away.
Was like, her publicly addressing it. I can't quite remember if I said all 3 of them. I think
You did.
I didn't know if I said the same one again twice. But yeah, those 3, and none of them were met. None of them. Were met. I had a feeling prior to this that was going to be the case because of how things were addressed, and because I learned about like like the lying involved and how people were responding to it after the tour, after we got back from Texas. Actually, like a lot of things happened after, and when we like seen this like a few days ago. the live.
Yeah, I saw the live. I was there. At first, I was a little irritated. Okay.
What's he did, Destiny? This kind of shit that pissed me off that happened during your controversy earlier this year. If I didn't know better, I would have thought these guys lynched a black person and drugged them down the road. The way they're talking about this with their tone, there's absolutely no levels to this shit. It's all yeah, all of this is like very binary for these groups of people. It's very, very, very binary.
At first, I was a little irritated at the people that went on the tour because, in my opinion, I'm like, if you see somebody do something that's completely uncalled for, and she's the face or part of the face of something that you're supposed to be advocating for, you shouldn't go. But then I sat back and I was like, okay, maybe there was a reason why y'all went, right? I'm not gonna say you should have went. And I sat back and I was like, we're giving Z a little bit too much leeway, and we're putting a lot of the anger on the you guys, because I feel like because we know you guys more than we know Z, people are just more disappointed in you guys. But the content creators that went shouldn't be receiving as much anger or as much pushback as Z should be receiving. So her going in hiding just tells me that you guys probably were fighting. You guys probably were trying to get her
so brave
to address what she did, but she didn't care. So I appreciate you for doing this. And the more I listen to you guys, the more I'm coming to the realization that we should be angry at her. We should be asking her for answers. And I want to mention one thing. Before the whole tour started, right? Before the posters even came out, Z was she made a video addressing this creator. She's a smaller creator. Her name is Marie. And in that video that she made, she stitched up Marie. The amount of microaggressions, Marie's is a person of color, but the amount of microaggressions that was in there, Marie made a video about this, but she was being attacked because they mentioned how she's the face of the tour, and the tour is such a good thing, so Marie shouldn't be saying anything about it. And right now, I'm like, if we took Marie seriously, Z would have gotten the chance to go to another group of people to exhibit more microaggression, you know?
True.
But yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm sure a lot of people are in the queue to talk. But thank you so much for holding the space to ask questions and answering respectfully and taking your time. I truly appreciate it.
That you brought up. I think, for example, for me, I think that something that I could have done that I didn't do, that to the degree that I would like, is I should have forced them to either take accountability before, or take accountability and to drop out first, before we even went in the first place. And that's something that is on me, and I need to take accountability for. So although you obviously people want to address Z and whatnot, I think they should still be doing that. They should still also be holding me accountable. They should still also be holding Dean accountable, and that's a really important thing to do in terms of us taking accountability. I do think that there are things that we could have done that could have prevented something like that from happening in the first place.
I completely respect that, and I appreciate you for saying that too. Oh, sorry, one last thing. Mr. Jones, what's going to happen with him? So clearly he was part of the misinformation that kept people from speaking out. So what's going to happen with him in terms of him being held accountable for the part that he played?
Mr. Jones guy, but
yeah, I would like for Jones to be held accountable, but right now, actually, I'm not going to be talking about this until for a little bit, because right now him and his partner are going through a separation, and out of respect for his partner, I'm not going to address that, and I'm going to obviously there's stuff coming out soon about this, but I just wanted to make my position clear on that, and also I want to protect the privacy of his partner. I think that's very important, very, very important. So that's at least where I'm coming from right now, and why I am not going to say something right now, but stuff has already been said.
Why does he not get any slack for going through separation? It's literally just his partner. Really? That's what we're doing? Okay, that seems kind of mean, but whatever.
In terms of his ex-partner, I think that we should protect the privacy of his ex-partner as of right now.
Completely agree.
As of right now.
Completely agree. Thank you so.
I think that we should protect the privacy of his ex-partner as of right now.
Completely agree.
Jesus.
Thank you so much again.
For sure. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
So brave.
Give me a second, everyone. I'm sorry for the lag, everyone. Do you think that's just TikTok?
Hello. Hey, Parker.
Hello.
Hi.
I guess first I wanted to kind of bring it back around to the whole Johnny situation. I guess what some people don't know is that last night or the night before last, Johnny was pretty much reprimanded by a whole panel of other Black content creators. And Sam was there. Sam was mainly the one who needed an apology given to, and he did that. And it was another creator, I forgot her name, that Johnny had mentioned in one of his lives, and he apologized to her. So he pretty much.
Does anybody know if anything else happened? This is boring. It's just fucking. I feel like I'm literally just making my audience racist.
They weaponized people's blackness to be able to shut him down and just dog him out a bit. It was a little crazy. I watched it and I've seen man, I watched them she was speaking. It was not speaking. Maybe there was a lag of some sort, but I'm glad that it was all recorded because this was ridiculous. And I hope people can step away and just find some time to say these things because people's mental health is involved. People's in general, these are real people. So as much as we can find forgiveness for everybody else in their soul, and regardless, Z said something crazy. I don't think people should completely uninvest in this girl. Maybe she said something terrible, but I don't think it's something to the extent that she needs to be be like, she could be coached. Someone needs to be on her team telling her what's going on, because the truth is that's what these parties look like. This is what it looks like.
Wait, you know what? I don't know. Hold on. Maybe she's using crazy language, but this person sounds like they're actually a little bit better than the others. Hold on.
Didn't go about like talking to the black creators that the black creators felt like was messed up. So that's at least what I've seen from this. So that's at least what I've seen from this. But yeah, I want to be able to so you can respond real quick.
No, like, I feel like you addressed a lot, and it's very easy to just pass a lot of judgment on someone who's just in your face, and all the time we're looking for someone to be upset with. But regardless, it's not about him speaking to other people, because I don't want it to go as misinformation, because someone said that was their truth. So true or not true, that's something to divulge into, but it was really easy for him. But it was really easy for him to set with, as people got, like, a lot of people's pasts were brought up. A lot of things were just kind of called into questions, people's advocacy. So it's really not a sense of, I don't know. I feel like it could have just been handled with care. Like, automatically, it was just like, whatever. Like, you wanted to go on your own. It is what it is. But I mean, he's just a guy. He's a person also is sharing his opinion. He's a person growing as well. I don't understand. Like, I watched the live with Mermaid and Simple Black Theory, and all they did was yell at Simple Black Theory, and all they did was yell at him, and Johnny just stopping people. Like, it brought out so many things that were so loud. Johnny just shutting everything down. I have never heard of this man before, and to hear him for the first time and be introduced to him, to him through this way, was like, bruh, what is going on? And then on top of the fact, just to watch the interaction of them all be like, they shouted over him, and then they weaponized people's blackness to be able to shut him down and just dog him out a bit. It was a little crazy. Like, I watched it, and I've seen, like, man, I watched them she was speaking. It was not speaking. Maybe there was a lag of some sort, but I'm glad that it was all recorded, because this was ridiculous. And I hope people can step away and just find some time to say these things, because people's mental health is involved. People's, like, in general, these are real people. So as much as we can find forgiveness for everybody else in their soul, and regardless, Z said something crazy, I don't think people should completely uninvest in this girl. Maybe she said something terrible, but I don't think it's something to the extent that she needs to be, like, she could be coached. Someone needs to be on her team telling her what's going on, because the truth is that's what these parties look like. This is what it looks like on both sides. Like, I've been organizing, I've been politically active, and this is just what it looks like. And I don't think it's right to say that she didn't do wrong, but to give her any kind of leeway to make any kind of, I don't know. I just feel like there should have been some path to redemption on all fronts. It could have just been handled a lot better.
Yeah, true.
But I yield.
Yeah, so my thoughts are that I think that in order for there to be like a genuine sense of like progression for someone, there needs to be accountability for that person. And if someone can't take accountability for like the
Here is one word that I hate. Maybe from personal experience. This accountability word is actually so fucking cancerous and toxic. You can't, if you say accountability, it doesn't mean anything unless you're willing to give an example of what accountability is. Because people do this thing where they'll say over and over again, accountability. Like, what do you mean by take accountability? Do you mean like she should have completely and totally dropped out of everything forever? Or do you mean that she should have, like, I don't know, like what, like, I don't know, have they given any example of what accountability means? Because it's not like the only option is just for her to quit everything. Like, that's it. That's all she can do. And it's like, what's the point here? I don't know.
actions that they've engaged in, it's really hard for me to see that they're going to progress. So like, I mean, especially if like the entirety of the creators are like trying to get them to like apologize and address things publicly, and they aren't going to do that.
Yeah, but apologizing and addressing things publicly was clearly never enough.
There is a path for people to redeem themselves. It's just that if they don't take accountability, it's like impossible for them to redeem themselves, because accountability is a part of the process for redeeming. At least that's the way that I see it. And then I also do just want to address one thing. To my knowledge, everyone had their trip paid for except for Pickles. Pickles, he didn't have it, and he had like a supporter take care of it. So he's the only person I know, and when I found that out, I was still like, that's crazy. Like, everyone's flight should have been taken care of, everyone's hotel should have been taken care of, like across the board. And then I do know with some other people that it was like they got reimbursed for things. So they got reimbursed for things. So like, yeah, the only person to my knowledge that that didn't have that paid for was Pickles.
Completely understood. Only thing I can say is she probably needs a bit more experience. Like she said, it was hard organizing people of this number. 50 is a pretty small number, but regardless, I think it's something we could.
I am so sorry. This woman has been based so far, but this woman has never managed anybody in her life. If she's saying 50 is a small number of individual talent, if she was somebody that could manage people at that level, I would know who she is. Everybody would know who she is. That's just managing individual talent like this is always a clusterfuck. But whatever. Unless she just doesn't know, and maybe she just thinks it was just like 50 random canvassers that showed up or something, but...
It just all learned from, and I hate that everybody was just kind of the poster child for whatever situation they were just kind of like reacting to.
Yeah, and that's something that we would take into account, especially when looking for like a different pack is one that like a pack that has a lot more professionalism, has more infrastructure, would be better at planning things.
I seriously doubt they're going to find anybody else that can do any of this work, but we'll see.
That's definitely something that we needed that before, and like again, that goes into my process. And this isn't going to just extend to like business partners or whatever we want to call it. I don't even know if this would, yeah, I guess business partners. It would apply to like my friends in the future. Like I need to be like vetting people, you know, who are my friends. You know, I need to be vetting everyone in general. And like I think that's the nature of like social media and being in front of people. That like I didn't know and do. Like I should have known about this. I should have been engaging with vetting people before this, and I'm treating it too much like I'm a
like how would you have vetted her? What was so obvious?
I need to address it because like
that this person was such a horrible human being.
Lives and people are seeing these types of things. So I think it's important in the process of even me having friends to to vet that and to address before. I know it's impossible to. You're okay. Don't worry. I know it's impossible to predict people's behavior to a certain degree, but like it's important to vet because like I feel like if there's a vetting process, it still minimizes the likelihood that that's going to happen if there's some type of vetting process. So that's something that I think I need to address is vetting and being not as quick to trust people within the political space. I think a lot of people in the political space, like especially those behind the scenes, like are probably like and whether it be management or other stuff like that, probably like not as trustworthy. Like on the backside, electoral side of the political process, because like in order to be involved in politics, a lot of the times it requires like electoral side of it and like getting engaged with the government side of it. In order for people to get in those positions, they oftentimes will have to engage in behaviors like that, which is like crazy. And like that's the horrible nature of politics that like I didn't think was applicable to like the social media space. And so that's something I'm definitely realizing and having to acknowledge.
My God.
Thank you so much. For sure. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. I wish y'all literally all the best.
Oh my God. Was that an AI black woman controlled by a white programmer? Wait, what was going on there?
Alrighty. All right, everyone. I think tonight. At least.
Jesus.
I don't want to do debates right now. I think it's important for me to like continue to reflect on everything. I think that's an important thing to do.
True.
So I'm specifically not gonna get into debates right away. And I know people are like, oh, it's like I typically do daily stuff. So like, yeah, like that's gonna be like a few days off for me at least. So I'm just trying to inform people who are expecting like daily debates and stuff like that. Alrighty, I'm gonna get the last person up here. I'm gonna get Kay up here. Hey, what's up, Kay?
Okay, I might be lagging a little bit, and if you hear like a little static, my apartment under maintenance right now. Okay, so I got 4 points that I was just gonna bring up, and I'm gonna just go down the list because I was taking them while I was in live. So first, I want to explain like microaggressions, because I think what people don't understand is that microaggressions are not necessarily blatant racism. It's not overt racism. So like when people are speaking about y'all in particular, or the chat in particular, and speaking about microaggressions, they're thinking, oh, it's them, y'all saying the N-word, or it has to be y'all like blatantly being like, oh, I don't like black people's hair. When that's
I feel like that'd be a mega aggression, but okay.
Not necessarily the case. Microaggressions are just things that are kind of like stereotypes or subtle racism. So like, let's say you're sitting in your car and you see a black man walking by your car and you lock your door. That's a microaggression. Even though you're not blatantly saying I'm scared of black people, it's something that is subconscious in your mind that you do, not necessarily with a bad intention, but you are doing it. And so things like, which was discussed earlier, things like speaking about black people's hair, hiding behind black people's hair. There was something else that was brought up. I forgot because I didn't get to write it down. Those are forms of microaggressions because those are stereotypes. Those are things that are very sensitive to black people. Black people are often made fun of because of their hair. So if you do anything revolving around their hair in a negative manner, that is a microaggression. Oh, that's what it was. Calling black women aggressive. A lot of black women are seen as aggressive with just their tone of voice. I could be talking like this and I've been called aggressive on this platform in that chat. And that is a microaggression. You can say, oh, she was being aggressive, but in the same manner, they would not do the same thing to you if you raise your voice. Like when you raise your voice, ain't nobody finna say, oh yeah, Parker being aggressive, even if you are, up on that octave. Thank y'all, by the way. And then when it comes to the chat, I think for me personally, I would say for you, I'm going to speak on you. It mostly is your chat when it comes to the microaggression, when it comes to the racism, because I will say your chat is catered to who you are as a person. People who come up on and follow you are catered to you as a person. And with you being a white female, you're going to get more white males, more white people who follow your platform, who are engaging in your platform. And when we understand the dynamic of society and how systemic racism plays a major role in how people view things, I think that's why your chat can get very microaggressive very quickly, because a lot of white people have not dismantled their racism. They have not came over that, even if they are more on.
Have you guys dismantled your
white
racism?
Because I don't know if I can say the actual word on in the live. I might say be on, because a lot of white people have not dismantled their racism. They have not
What is she?
Came over that, even if they are more on. I'm saying white tea because I don't know if I can say the actual word on in the live. I might say be okay too. I'm not being.
Wait, white tea? Because she gets to the actual word? Wait, what is the actual word? What?
Racist in the chin chat. But that's why.
White tea? White tea for whitey? Oh, okay.
When it comes to when black women get on a panel or black people get on a panel, when we're talking about topics like this, it can get a little microaggressive. It can get a little racist. It can become an issue because a lot of white liberals do not understand racism. They have not fully did their research on how racism looks more in depth. We know, oh yeah, you're racist if you're discriminatory, but a lot of people who are white liberals don't have to do that extra research, so they never do. And I think that's why the chat can get a lot toxic. And my solution for that, because I'm going to give you a solution. My solution for that, honestly, just making sure it's more black moderators who can moderate the chat more frequently, and maybe having like a shift type thing. So like your moderators have their own little group chat where hey,
DEI mods. I'm sorry.
Going live at 8, who can shift from 7 to 8, 8 to 9, That way it can keep the chat more well-rounded. And you can also get rid of the issue where people be bots and, you know, they be having their issues in the chat. Because I remember when we used to do that, it would be a little more organized in that manner because it can be a little more regulated.
True.
And also just making sure, like, even if we don't see one comment or so, if we know someone who is a person of color is on chat, or if we honestly, even if we see somebody who has some form of disability or who's coming on the panel, we just have a little closer eye on the chat, because it doesn't happen frequently with like most of your guests.
She's saying white C for white cisgender because she doesn't know if she can say cisgender. Oh, okay, gotcha. What do trans people or whatever get drafted into the black BIPOC stuff? What the fuck?
Bots with other of your guests, but when it comes to, like, I've noticed black women, black men, people who have some form of like speech impediment, when it comes to those individuals, that's when the chat can get a little tricky. And so when those things are happening, we just making sure we're more regulated on that, so that way it can, you know, it won't necessarily be a problem. And I feel like it will also open your platform to a lot of different people, because when it comes to your chat, the community can be unwelcoming, and that can harm you. It can give that impression on you. And I think that's also what I've seen with the other people on the panel. When they were speaking on, like, oh, Dean did this, and the chat always doing this, it becomes a reflection of you, not necessarily because you are doing it, but because that's what your community is surrounded upon. Ooh. So that can make it look like, or it can give the impression that, oh, if his chat's being microaggressive, who's to say that he's not? True. And I think that would help with that as well. And then, when I can't remember who it was who came on the panel, but they were speaking about inherent racism. When people say that, they're not necessarily saying that people are born racist. They're saying that because of the society we live in, racism is embedded in the society. Colorism is embedded in the society. Ableism is embedded in the society. So anytime certain things or certain demographics do not apply to you, we are socially conditioned to think a certain way. That's what's presented to us from a very young age up until we're older. And it can affect how we think, even subconsciously. So, like, for example, I can hold myself accountable, and I can say that I was not the best person to be speaking about like fat phobia. I didn't fully understand that when I was younger. I was a little fat phobic, I'm not going to lie. But once I got older and actually understood, oh, that is not something that is good, you can change that. It doesn't mean that you will always be racist. It doesn't mean that you will always be ableist. It just means that this was ingrained in your society, and you have to educate yourself and actively.
I'm sorry. I'm microaggressing in my mind right now. My bad.
It means that this was ingrained in your society, and you have to educate yourself and actively dismantle those things that were going on.
This has to be a fucking troll. I don't believe this. This has to be a troll. What is this can't be real right now.
Anybody, if y'all have any questions, y'all can DM me. I reply to my DMs. Even if it goes to the request, I go through it and I'll reply. And yeah, also for somebody in the comments, they said they took psych. Psych is a very good thing to help you enlighten yourself. I'm a psychology major. I'm finna graduate. Sister finna graduate. Sister finna go to med school. But yeah, and med school. But yeah, and surrounds you. And I feel like you can fix. I feel like that's something that can be changed, and that's something that you can grow from.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I just want to say how amazing it is to see you. Think way back, like from the beginning of TikTok days. Seriously, I love you so much. I just want to say I appreciate you. I'm glad to see you here. And like, seriously, no one could have worded better. Like, actually, that was incredible. I really appreciate that. Seriously. And like, that was like literally the best way to end my live, especially to clarify like all the things that were brought up on the live that like people brought up kind of in a way that maybe people misunderstand. Like, a lot of people misunderstand like what people mean when they say that like white people are inherently racist. And what I tell people is like, stop, listen for a second. I know it sounds like originally, like when you first think about it, you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds like such a wild, insane take. It's not. Insane take. It's not. Insane take. It's not. I'm not talking like people have this idea that inherent means like you're born with, like what you were bringing up. So like that is definitely like definitely something I really appreciate you explaining, especially to the chat, and especially like it gives me the idea that these are things that need to be talked about more, like, and explained to the chat on a continual basis. Because if it is the case that the chat doesn't understand this right now, that's probably indicative of the fact that it's not talked enough within the space. So like Thank you for coming up and telling me that. And I think the ideas of the mods is an incredible thing to do, especially with anyone who's impacted, any marginalized community, right? Especially people who make fun of stutters, right? And although it is difficult to some extent, especially like to limit like everyone, because they only give us like 30 mods or something like that, which is pretty insane. But it's still really important to like be like, oh, what mods are on right now and what mods can't go on right now, and maybe I could shift around the mods so that we have more people who are active right now, and then I can like unmod them and then mod them back again based upon who's going to be there on that day. So I think that's a great idea.
And another thing, what did you just say? Ooh, I just lost it. Give me 1 second. It was repeat the beginning of your sentence, actually.
See, I have a really bad memory. I have really bad short-term memory. I'm like, to be totally honest, I elevate all the time. I'm not today. Because I just want to make sure I was on everything today, but like my short-term memory is so cooked because of
I remember what it was.
Wait, what does that mean?
Okay, so with the like educating your space about racism, what you can do, I would say you can do more not BIPOC, but also Black like creators in which you pan with. I know Athena would be good for that. I know I would be good for that. And we can collectively have a couple like when you do go back debating, we can have a couple panels, we can have a couple like shared videos in which we can talk about it. That way your space is also more welcoming and more understanding of racism and how that impacts people, ableism and how that impacts people. Because I know
we're very welcoming and understanding of racism over here.
We have done that before. And I think it would be beneficial to what you aim for your platform, because it will not only educate people in what you want to educate, but I feel like it would also help with like internal community issues. Because I know, yes, liberals and Democrats can be very open, but sometimes they can be very closed off because of a misunderstanding and really just because of bias. And that can go a long way because you do have a big platform. I do think that would be something you can accomplish.
True. Absolutely. And like, let me know because I definitely have been wanting to like, especially co-host and me joining on to build up other communities, especially algorithms, because TikTok is a huge thing with like algorithms and it can help like in those types of ways too. So both of those things I think are a great idea. And if you want to message me, let me know because I'd love to see you on lives again. That would be amazing.
It's kind of crazy because the first time I ever got on your panel, I was a senior in high school, and I'm literally a senior in college now. I'm getting old. I'm starting to realize that, like, oh my goodness, I'm getting real old. I've been here since the age requirement to go live was like 16. No, it was 13. It was 13 because I remember I was on that little thing. I was 14. I was waiting to get on that little thing. But it's kind of crazy because like life has really changed like so much. Like it's just crazy.
I know it is. What's up?
I can send you resources as well.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I'll make a new document with all the resources so that way you can be informed. And if you want to like start that research, you can. You can, because I have a lot of tabs on my computer that I need to get rid of.
Thank you. That would be great because I have a sources document. So if I could add it to the sources document, if you would think that's a great thing, it can be a part of my link tree. So whenever like people, whenever we talk about in the live, be like, yo, look at my sources in my link tree, and that would be like the best thing.
We need that so bad.
Yeah, okay, I can definitely do that because I got a lot on here. And, I need to clear up my computer. I got too much. Yeah, it's starting to tell me my iCloud's too full.
For sure. Here, I'm going to bring up Jaden as well right now. And then I was going to end it, everyone, here for today. Today. But yeah, let me get Jaden up here real quick. By the way, it's for some reason not allowing him to load in.
It might take him. He was doing the same thing to me.
Really? TikTok is so glitchy.
Like it was loaded for like 5 seconds, and then it showed me my mute and stuff.
I'm not sure if it's my internet too, because it's like, I mean, our conversation doesn't sound like it's affected, but like my, actually here, my speed test is working now, so. Yeah, TikTok has been horrible recently. It's actually been unusable recently. Jaden, no, we cannot hear you currently. Do you want to send a guest request back? I should be able to add you back if, hopefully TikTok isn't like screwing up right now.
Hopefully.
Alrighty. Give it 1 second, everyone. Jaden's joined back up the guest box. Jaden's joined back up the guest box.
Okay, I'm bored. YT equals white. I feel like I've seen that, but I feel like when I see people type that, they're always racist black people. Is it wrong for me to say that? Every single time I've seen somebody that types white like that, YT, it's always racist black people. Usually racist black women. I don't know why the black men aren't as involved in that. SJWN, but...